Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we've got the news on the Xiegu X6200. It's got a name, it's got some awesome features, and it's news. I love news. Let's go take a look. It doesn't have much of a new face, but the new face that it does have, I do like. You can tell that the interface is just a slightly more refined version of the X6100 as far as the color screen goes that is in the center there. This is still an artist rendition at this point, so it might change a little bit in the future. However, the rest of the layout and controls is pretty spot on. You'll see in a minute what that actually looks like. I do like the overall retro style look that this thing has. I think that's a pretty good step for them. It looks like it's a tiny bit more rugged. It has the built-in knob protection rails on the side, which is part of that retro look. It has that cool looking speaker on it. Other than that, not a whole heck of a lot has changed. I still like it though. It still looks pretty good to me. Just it's evolutionary. That's pretty cool. Here is an actual look of what the front of the radio looks like. This is a actual production shipping unit at this point instead of an artist rendition. The white stuff that you see behind the handles is an artifact of my image processing, so don't worry about that too much. But again, you can see that they're just riffing on the design and making it look a little bit better. These knobs on the side, the volume, squelch, and RF gain knob, those are two-part knobs like you see on other radios like your ICOMs and your Xiegus, and the MFK knob is also a two-part knob. So there's going to be some added functionality there. This is the top of the actual radio, and I want to draw your attention to that extended component port. That is a port that you can open up. I haven't seen inside. I don't know what the specs are, but because of this radio's direct up conversion and direct down conversion built in, you should be able to, purely speculation, but you should be able to put in some 2 meter or 70 centimeter or 220 or whatever you feel like putting in there and do some cool stuff. Maybe a GPS unit if that's your fancy. Maybe some extra knobs if you wanted to control something extra. Maybe a built-in CW key. I don't know because the specs have not been published on this, but I can see some potential there. This is something that I think that radios should have done for a long time, and some radios have done this, but it would really be nice. You remember the old IBM PC with its ISA, industry standard architecture, slots that it had that sort of opened up a world of peripherals, and here we are today with, massive GPUs and other really cool devices. I think that's a good direction to be going in, and we're only about 20 years behind the curve there. The other buttons on top, you are missing a couple, but I don't think you're going to miss them too much. You can see it still does have the built-in tuner. It has a PTT button, so you can still use this thing in walkie-talkie mode if you want. Have no idea whether the internal screen rotates or not, but once you have that thing up in front of you, you can't read the screen anyway. It's too close. So get it tuned into frequency, hit that lock button, and then start PTTing and having some fun with your handheld radio. That's pretty cool. Here is something that is pretty interesting. We saw that this was going to be coming in the prototype photos. This is a removable battery. So what I can see coming down the line, I have no idea if this is going to do full power out on battery or not. It's possible. We'll find out when we get one in hand, and that will be happening as soon as possible because I'm pretty excited. But what you can see is the ability to take the battery out. And the battery has had some problems on the X6100, so this addresses those problems by being able to remove it. I personally don't use mine on the internal battery all that much, so I might just take it out for weight savings. Or you can snap this thing in with a higher capacity battery and make it run longer on 5 watts, make it run all day on 5 watts. Maybe there's another option for peripheral upgrades inside of this battery compartment. We'll find out when we get one. If you do decide to get yourself one of these Xiegu radios or one of the other Xiegu radios or any of the other fantastic products that Radioddity offers, I have a discount code in the description below for you that will save you some cash. If you are interested in getting one of these, I highly recommend that you pick it up from Radioddity. At the time of recording this, it is not available yet. I'm still expecting another 2 or 3 months before this radio becomes available at your favorite retailer. Mine happens to be Radioddity. Radioddity is the best place to go to get your warranty support for something like this. They have fantastic support. If you join us over on the Toads Discord, there is a link in the description down below for that. If you just search for Radioddity, you'll hear people talking about how good their support is. People actually go out of their way to just send me an email and say how good Radioddity support is. So definitely when you get a product from a company like Xiegu, you want to get it from a more reputable company as your reseller like Radioddity. If you're in the UK, then I recommend Martin Lynch & Sons. Radioddity did get some information out on their website, and some of the information that I have came direct from Xiegu, and they were able to provide me with some JPEGs of what should have been PDFs. So I'm going to use Radioddity's website to share the info with you that I think is pretty interesting here. I see that it supports all of the same features that the original 6100 has supported. I see this again as an evolutionary type step. There is the actual radio with the actual screen. So you can tell that it's just slightly refined. It looks like they've put the band plan superimposed on top of the waterfall. You still have the oscilloscope and the audio spectrum on the side over there. It is running on external power, so your 13.5 volts is coming from external power, and they've currently got it set at 2 watts. On the side, you see all of the familiar ports. We have the SD card slot. We have a microphone port, even though it looks like an Ethernet jack. That's your microphone port. You have your 3 control ports here. One of these is for, I'm going off of memory here, one of these is for an external speaker, one of these is for a key, Morse code key, and one of these is to connect to the XBA125B amplifier. You can see the USB Type-C plug here. Again, this has the same connectivity as the 6100, where it has 2 ports on the side for USB, one as a host for keyboards, mice, USB hubs, Ethernet ports, Wi-Fi adapters, etc. And the other one is for this to be a device for your computer. So you would have your audio in and out and your programming and all kinds of other stuff that you can do that way. And then over on the other side of the radio, this looks to be pretty well cleaned up. I don't see the aperture for the Wi-Fi that's built in, so I wonder what they did to address that. This might be a plastic external case instead of a metal external case, not 100% sure yet, but we've got our BNC for our antenna, and we have our power jack, and the IQ port is missing. That is something that they put into the X6100 and then removed later on in firmware. So here's the information on the external expansion component installation positions, and this is why I think that the battery tray might be a spot to put in an external expansion component. You have the one on the top that's marked external component, and then possibly the one on the back. The X6200 has 2, which can be used to install external expansion components and integrate them with the host, allowing for applications in other frequency bands or installation of peripherals. So that's where it gets interesting. So definitely some transverter options available in the future, not now. And I don't know what they mean by peripherals, but that's pretty exciting to see. And then we have all of the general specifications at the time of publishing this document. These are probably going to change between now and the time that the radio is delivered to your hands. We have a 20 ohm to 175 ohm antenna tuner built in. And then one of the things that I am not excited to see is external power is 8 watts. Not really excited to see that. So I wonder if they're going to change that back to 10 watts or if there was some reason why they lowered it down. All right, folks, that is all the news that is fit to print on the Xiegu X6200. I hope you enjoy this radio as much as I have enjoyed the X6100 when this one comes out. The X6100 did have some problems that plagued it, and they have made a ton of improvements, both software and hardware, as time has gone by. And the X6200 looks like it's going to be some evolutionary stuff. I'm hoping that we have some broadcast interference reduction. That would be one thing that would be interesting. I hope that we fix the problem where the waterfall did some mirroring left and right of the center of your frequency that should not have been there. I hope that they fix the problem where the internal OS has rebooted itself. And they've definitely fixed the problem with the battery, because you can just remove it and replace it with whatever battery technology you want. But hopefully there's something going on internally to that as well. And then maybe just some other refinements under the hood. And hopefully, I keep hoping, internal OS has been refined even more, and they have gotten a little cleaner inside. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this when it comes out, if for no other reason than it is a fun platform to experiment with, and it does radio. If you like living on the cutting edge of new ham radio news, then this is the channel for you. Be sure you are subscribed by clicking that subscribe button down below. There is a video right over here I think you will enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.